Sodiq Yusuf taking off a big risk right here, and Don Shainis has never been in a better position to literally change the trajectory of his life, especially his fighting career. Now, if there's one thing to make Don Shainis very dangerous is that he could take a punch, he can come back, and he can give a massive blow himself, bro. Like, this dude is explosive. And I think that's why he got the short notice call up, man. Because Sodiq Yusuf is very explosive. But Sodiq Yusuf oftentimes can find himself in that same situation you were talking about for Trevin Jones. Just patient. Almost patient to a fault, right? And especially with a Don Shainis, you don't have that much time to really do, a whole camp on this guy, to study this guy. He's going to have to go back to his training. And what's the normal saying, right, AJ? When you go back to your training, it's like your lowest level of training is like what comes out, when you're tired or when any of these situations happen. Do you think the lowest level Sodiq Yusuf, who was arguably one of the best in the world, man, can steamroll a Don Shainis? Or do you think that this has the potential to be like a Hayoni Barcelos, Victor Henry? Like, oh, where did this dude come from?
Oh, the one sleeper factor I give to Don Shainis is this dude is a great and very powerful wrestler. Yeah. So if Sodiq if Yusuf comes in here and really isn't expecting that to come in at all, and he gets surprised in that first round, gets power doubled into the fence, and next thing you know, he's sitting there 5 minutes on his back staring up. That's when I'm thinking that could be the oh shit moment that everybody's thinking, and maybe like, oh damn, Shainis is real. The brass really, they thought highly of this kid, and he's the real deal. That's where all that comes in. Do I think Sodiq Yusuf is not expecting that to happen? I'm trying to think of a better word, where he's not being arrogant and, just not doing the research. Do I think he's out there just like having fun? No, I think Sodiq Yusuf is taking this still very, very seriously, because one thing that you noted in the beginning, when he struggles with output because of the reading of the scenes and fighting and like the fight IQ. What I have labeled down is he has very smart pressure. So almost sometimes to a fault, where he can pressure, he can keep it up, and he can go, but he can also reserve a lot of the time and wait for you to come in and do that. And if Shainis comes in and puts some pressure to him, I think we're going to see a more calculated and patient Sodiq, so that way he's actually able to solidify the win going forward and not just get power doubled at the beginning of every single round and set himself up into that kind of a fight.
And if there's anybody who has experience with like dudes wanting to come in and wrestle him, it's Sodiq Yusuf, man. That's what Arnold Allen did to him when he beat him. So that was a tough loss for him. He had to bounce back from that. Andre Feely even took him down 3 times, and Sodiq still won the fight. So I don't think that just a pure wrestling attack is going to be enough to really overcome against Sodiq Yusuf. I do think, though, man, he's going to stay smart. He's going to need to stay smart, right? And he's going to need to put up just higher volume, right? Kind of like when he did against Mike Davis. So if you go back to his UFC debut, he fought Mike Davis, man. He put up a career high strikes in the UFC, 111, right? Significant strikes. And this was Dana White Contender Series, so I guess it wasn't even really like the UFC debut. But the point is, he has the capacity to do it. You just can't be frozen by, oh shit, this dude's about to take me down. But when you see a prop odd of minus 200 for Sodiq Yusuf for a TKO, you have to imagine, is there any wisdom in betting against anything other than that? Like when the odds makers literally say we're going to give you less value than Mackenzie Dern getting a submission on Yan Xiaonan for a TKO in this shortcomers fight or newcomers fight, whatever you want to call it. Come on, do you just instinctively roll with the odds makers here?
Basically, especially if you're a bettor out there, you don't even know who Don Shainis is. You see a minus 200 T, and no disrespect to Shainis at all. Yeah. This dude's in the game. That's as much as you can ask for. But you see a minus 200 TKO. I think the smart man rolls with it.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. Well, with that being said, man, Sodiq Yusuf, we think he gets the job done. It's only a matter of how does he get the job done. And to be fair, man, if you're looking at a Don Shainis, even in his literally in his last fight, dude got stung early on before finishing his opponent. And that goes to show he could take a shot. But if you're getting stung like that at that level, if Sodiq Yusuf hits you with some good shit, some Nate Diaz, I'm going to hit him with some good shit, put some money in my pocket and dip out. You feel me? Like if he hits you with that, I think that we're not recovering from that one. I think it's going to be a short night. So I'll go Sodiq Yusuf. And I don't even want to be too harsh here, but I'm going to go first round TKO. How you see it?
I don't want to be too harsh either, Derek, but I'm right there with you. Sodiq Yusuf, TKO, round 1. Hopefully it's not too early, but Don Shainis, all credit to him for answering the phone, man.
Listen, at the end of the day, a lot of times you just have to do this in order to get into the big show. You wanted to be here. This is not the ideal circumstance. You don't get a full training camp. But he did say, I'm going to make it ugly. And all right, man, I wish you nothing but the best right here. Minus 165 for the under. And the over and under is 1.5 rounds. So, I mean, the odds makers like Sodiq here. Come on. All right, man. Moving on down.